My name is Esa-Pekka Tupala. I'm your host today, and in the booth with me will be Jaani Länsio, the spin doctor himself. Welcome to the booth, Jaani.
Thank you, Esa-Pekka. It's been a long hiatus from DGN, and I'm so glad to be back here. I'm looking forward to seeing these ladies teeing off in a few minutes. It'll be an exciting round, I'm sure about that.
And you've been traveling all around the world, and I believe that's the way you just to live your past.
Yeah, I was traveling for about half a year. I was in Asia mainly, but last summer I also visited Serbia and Greece, Macedonia, went to Austria, and when I flew back home, I flew from Prague. So it's not too long since I visited the beautiful city of Prague and the beautiful country of Czech Republic.
So the circle is kind of closing here. Now you're back in the booth and with the competition in Prague.
I mean, you can say that. You can say that. Prague is one of my favorite cities ever that I visited. It's such a beautiful place, and the course, the venue, I think many of the players see it as the most beautiful course they've ever played in. I haven't played on Franz Ferdinand, sadly enough, despite having multiple options to choose to do so, but so far I haven't done it.
Yeah. So the thing is that the FPO is gonna start soon enough, and we are experiencing some heavy rain in Finland here, where our booth is. But I believe that the weather down on the course is pretty good, and I'm hearing that we're soon gonna hear from Andrew, who's down on the course. But did you experience any heavy weather conditions on your journeys last year?
It was almost all sun that I can remember, especially in Europe last summer. Though I was in Taiwan also a lot of the time in the spring, and it was quite rainy actually in February and March. But as I got to Europe, it was so hot. It's too hot to play actually for me, because I'm a man from the north. I like it below 20 Celsius. 15 to 20, that's my, like, the sweet spot.
Cool. I believe we are going to hear from Andy soon enough. He's down on the course. He's ready to give us some action down from the course. Andy, can you hear us? How's the weather been looking for the past few days?
Yes, I can hear you. Very happy to be here on course reporting. The weather has been pretty soggy. The grounds are soggy. It was raining quite a lot yesterday afternoon and into the evening, but the sun has come out, and it's looking like a beautiful day here down at the Czech Republic. We have a very exciting event coming forward, and I can't wait to bring you all the live action here.
Thank you, Andy. Great to hear from you. And you're going to call us some shots during the day, and you're going to give us a great insight from the course. I'm glad to see the sun is shining down there, because it's pouring in here. So I hope this rain keeps on pouring here and not there at all this weekend.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, right around 10 degrees Celsius or 50 Fahrenheit. Might warm up a few degrees more as we go throughout. We're hoping the sun stays out, and it's looking like it might do.
Great. Thanks, Andy. We are seeing the kind of current conditions on the screen. The humidity has been up these past few days for the rains past, but now it seems like it's going to be a great tournament weather. Thanks, Andy, again, and we'll contact you in just a few moments again. There you got it.
Yeah, I mean, Andy's a great guy. Gummy bear, I always used to call him, and I think he's okay with me saying he's the gummy bear.
I mean, he gave the thumbs up for the for the nickname.
Yeah,
it's great to have nicknames, and we have many nicknames for these people that are playing in our feature cards today. The best of the world, for example, from Kristin Ladd.
I mean, yeah, some say she might be the GOAT, greatest of all times. I'm not sure. There's a tight battle between her and Paige Pierce. Also, I think we just might have the best putter in the world in the feature card, Silva Saarinen.
And we're gonna check on them in just a while. At this moment, you can see on your screen there are some notable events from this course. this course and Franz Ferdinand, excuse me, in the park, it's totally, it's not here. It's not a permanent course, and it has given the Czech Republic and Europe some great things. I mean, the first ever PDGA event of Czech Republic was here in 2013. Then we got the first beat here in 2014. We got the Euro Tour events and the Disc Golf World Tour events. And in 2023 and 2021, Niklas Anttila took down 2 events straight up. Before that, we had Eagle McMahon winning the PDGA Major here 2018. Ricky Wysocki took down the 2017 World Tour. So this course has seen a lot, and this park has seen these players many years. Unfortunately, we had a break last year, 2024. We didn't visit this park, but now today starts the first ever DGPT event of Czech Republic, and where else could it be than in Farnsworth?
I could give you a few options, but I think this might just be the best one of them. It's such a beautiful place. Not too, I would say, challenging of a course. It's a feel-good course. It's not totally a park style disc golf, but not a woodsy course either. So you got best of the both worlds. Lots of space to throw big. You cannot overdo it because lots of trees whose branches come all the way to the ground. Some OBs, but you really have to mess up your throw to get to the OB. Of course, there are a few island holes or one island hole and a few very hazardous OBs too. But most of all, I feel like the players can relax a little bit more than in most of the courses nowadays that are riddled with OBs and lots of trees. But so far, Konopište has shown to give a lot of birdie opportunities. The winning scores are, I mean, you have to go, let's see, sub-zero quite a lot.
Yeah.
Something like -8 to 10 maybe is a good ballpark.
And if I can recall, Rachel Turton, last time this event was held in 2023, she had about -8 on her total score, but the field was considerably weaker than this year. As you can see on your screen, we are looking at those DGPT Europe stops for this season. Rachel Turton will be one player we are gonna see in Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe in 2025. We have 2 PDGA Majors coming up. We have 5 Elite Series events and 7 Q Series events. We're gonna jump towards the tee number 1. We have the second feature card of FPO soon teeing off. We're gonna see Matilda Ringboom from Sweden, Kaidi Alsalu from Estonia, Anniken Christiansen Steen from Norway, and Amanda Lennartsson from Sweden. Again,
ladies and gentlemen,
4 great players.
welcome to Konopište Open 2025, presented by
We're gonna have a
Discmania,
moment of silence
the
here
first
and
ever
see
Disc
the
Golf Pro
shots
Tour
on
event
number
in the
1.
Czech Republic.
Have a great tournament here in the booth. It's
It's
great to be back with you.
9:40 a.m. and
You
that
too,
means
Epe.
we will
This will
have
be fun.
ready for you 4 players in the FPO division, the second feature card. First on the tee, sponsored by Innova, representing Sweden. Please give a warm welcome to Miss Matilda Ringboom. Second on the tee, sponsored by Prodigy Disc, representing Estonia. Please put your hands together for Miss Kaidi Alsalu. By Sigrebex, and representing Norway, please give it up for Miss Anniken Steen. Our second
Having
feature
some small
car,
technical difficulties.
sponsored by Discmania, and
But we'll
representing
be
Sweden,
back on hole
please
number
give it
one
up for
soon
Miss
enough.
Amanda Lennartsson.
Jani, have you done any fantasy games from any sports ever? Is that something you're familiar with?
I have heard about it, but I have never done it.
Yeah, so we have Hold My Bag picks for these Disc Golf Pro Tour events this season, and I think that's a great thing. I've done some fantasy picking myself with different kinds of venues, and this seems to be pretty cool, I'd say. It's great to see them also in Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe. It is a daily fantasy game for disc golf. It's for disc golfers, and it's made by disc golfers. So really, they do know what they're talking about there. And On My Bag will be back for the Northwest Disc Golf Championships, and I'd say you don't want to miss out on your chance to win prizes or cash. And remember to sign up at holdmybagdg.com, and that's holdmybagdg.com. I suggest you go and make some fantasy picks there on the other side of the screen while we're waiting for the FPO to tee off. We're seeing some great new sponsors on the tour. This for the last season also, but for this 2025 we also know some great big names sponsoring our events, and I love to see this sport grow day in day out. It's great to see those sponsors coming.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it shows that people are interested in our sport. The companies are interested in working together with disc golf, and why not? Disc golf is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, especially here in Europe. It's just booming.
And this year, for the first time, disc golf is also represented in the World Games this coming summer. That's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be a big event. I remember World Games had disc golf when I was just beginning my career as a disc golfer. It was 2001 or 2002. And I vaguely remember disc golf being represented. I think it was in Japan or somewhere very far from my home. Well, that's all I can remember from that event, but I'm sure some historians will remind me of the results. But it's always a cool thing to see disc golf being represented in major sports events, multi-event tournaments, or how do you call them? But I'm not sure if Olympics will ever accept disc golf as one event, but maybe we'll see that in the future too.
We'll see about that. And there it is, the second feature card is walking off from hole number 1.
Looks like we still got some putting to do. I believe she's Amanda Lennartsson, the Swedish champion of 2023. Just hitting the cage. Didn't fully commit on that one. Also, I'm pretty sure there are some first hole jitters for every one of us. Would be.
And against 10. Also in the basket, and they're moving on to hole number 2. Silva Saarinen is one of the biggest names coming into this event. In 2024, she was on a run. She took down multiple events straight up. I believe 5 events at least. That was a marvelous stretch of games. I'm so glad to see this Silva and Kristin battle going on today, but we also have some fresh new names on the first feature card, and don't worry folks, we are gonna talk all about them in just a moment. But now let's give a breather, we're gonna see some commercials and we'll be right back.
Tie at the top. She has to make it.
No way!
Nervy putt to win.
Hanley!
Her first Disc Golf Pro Tour elite event.
My name's Holland Hanley,
My name is Albert Tan,
and
we use the Easy Cart.
I went with the Easy Cart because it lets me switch back and forth between using the bag and using the cart.
I like the simplicity of Easy Cart. On the longer courses, it takes off a lot of weight from my bag,
I also get the extra storage below.
and it works for the smallest and the biggest bags in the game.
I think the Easy Cart goes for whoever already has a nice big premium bag and they don't want to spend a ton of money also getting the most expensive cart.
Can I just say I agree?
Ditto.
Hey, aren't you Anthony Barella?
Yes, sir. Try out this Venom.
Thanks, man. Hey, hurry up, man. You're taking forever.
Sorry, man. No 30-second rule here. What about that 100% off player discount?
Okay, Lucky, so you're Norwegian. Why don't you just tell people about your discs and then I'll translate for people who don't speak the language.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lykke Lorentzen.
Hei, jeg heter Lykke Lorentzen.
Thank you to everyone who's bought my Signature Series discs.
Tusen takk til alle som har kjøpt min Signature Series disk.
Don't forget, you can buy them at infinitediscs.com.
Ikke glem at du kan kjøpe den på infinitediscs.com.
Was that okay?
Wow, I didn't know you could speak Norwegian.
Yeah, Duolingo.
The Konopište Open is presented by Discmania. Reinvent your game. The Disc Golf Network has a new tier. You can join the network at no cost at all. DGN Free is here with select live coverage, so you can get a taste of live action for totally free. So if you're not a subscriber, it's the perfect time to try DGN with the free subscription. And next week, the first 3 rounds of the Northwestern Disc Golf Championships will be available on DGN Free. So give that a try. I'm hearing word from the field that Kaidi Alsalu just connected a 14-meter birdie putt on hole number 1. As you can see, Silva Saarinen already warming up for her round. Rachel Turton there on the right, and Kristin Latt also arriving to the putting basket near tee number 1. I'm feeling so excited, Jani. This is gonna be so cool to see all these players on Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, and especially looking forward to Silva's and Kristin's battle. They've been going toe-to-toe with each other this spring. Very memorable. Was it a playoff? Yeah, when Silva didn't quite connect and couldn't beat Kristin in Music City Open just a few months ago.
This course and this event, Konopište Open, has seen some marvelous things happen. You can see a recap going on your screen. Many years have passed and many events have been held on this course. We're going to tell you more about them. Here's Egan McMahon taking down the major in 2018. Niklas Anttila, the European Disc Golf champion on the MPO side. Henna Blomroos took down the FPO in 2021. Here's Rachel Turton 2 years ago, raising the cup for Konopište Open at the Euro Tour. Niklas Anttila didn't lay this putt even though he was leading with about 6 strokes to Daniel Davidson there. Even more. And you can see the sign. You have to walk quite a while to get to hole number 1 in Franz Ferdinand. Big changes in elevation on this course. And we had been talking about this already, and we're gonna keep on talking about this the whole broadcast and the whole weekend. Kristin and Silva are the most picked up winners for this event. There are some challengers for them, but they've been going back and forth for a while. As you were just talking about this, Jani, Silva has not quite been able.
Yeah, I was so close, as you can see, it was so close.
Both in the last hole and in the playoff, Silva wasn't quite able.
Yeah, it's a crushing moment to see. As a Finn, of course, I was a little bit rooting for Silva because I've been following her for a couple of years. I've seen how her game has developed, and I've seen her become, I think, the best putter in the world.
Music City Open, Kristin with the great upshot. Silva was tightly tucked in the left side bushes and she wasn't able to get the disc towards the basket quite enough. Her second shot.
All the portable baskets are casual release area. So
you also got to remember that you're actually challenging, I think, your idol there. So it's really hard to beat your idol, because if you're looking up to someone, how can you beat them?
It's on the left side, about 80 meters from the tee. So if you
We're gonna have a short break here at the Disc Golf Network. We'll be right back on tee number 1 for the first feature group.
So PDJ Marshall is with you all the time, and
we are outside.
We are together.
Oh my!
We are healthy.
We are inclusive.
Smile.
Smile. You are playing
Disc golf.
PDGA Europe.
Smile.
Upgrade your disc golf setup this season. Discraft's fresh lineup of grip EQ bags and the all-new Zuka cart give you unbeatable comfort, style, and standout performance. Make this season one to remember at discraft.com.
Bend the reality of what a disc can be and discover Ultra Soft plastic. With its extreme flexibility and tackiness, Ultra Soft has the best grip and flex of any plastic Prodigy has ever made. Take on cold or wet weather with confidence behind every shot. We are excited to add 300 Ultra Soft to the lineup, which joins 400 and 500 Ultra Soft. Check out the entire collection today on ProdigyDisc.com or your local retailer.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Feature card number 1 for the FPO Konopiście Open 2025 is ready to tee off. Kristin Latt, Silva Saarinen, Rachel Turton, and Kristina Jurčíková, a young 14-year-old player from Czech Republic. It's great to see her on the video card on this opening day.
Yeah, let's see how she can handle the pressure.
And the crowd
Ladies
is already
and gentlemen,
there.
welcome to Konopiście Open 2025 presented by Discmania, the first ever Disc Golf Pro Tour event in the Czech Republic. It's 10 o'clock and that means we have a feature card of FPO division here ready to tee off. First on the tee, sponsored by Latitude 64 and representing Estonia, please give it up for Kristin Latt. Second on the tee, sponsored by MVP Disc Sports and representing Finland, please give a warm welcome to Miss Silva Saarinen. Third on the tee, sponsored by Prodigy Discs and representing Great Britain, your 2023 Konopiště Open champion. Please give a warm welcome to Miss Rachel Thurston. And rounding up our FPO feature card, sponsored by Discmania and representing Czech Republic. Please give it up for Kristina Jurčíková!
I have not seen that color combination before. For this
Kristina Jurčíková almost ringing the chains on hole number 1 and just slightly out of bounds.
Yeah, we're off.
We're off. We're totally off. Let's
Yeah.
see that again. Look at that. She's got that face that she came to play.
Yeah, very clean release. Beautiful follow through.
There is zero wobble in the disc at all.
Yeah, it was so close to stay in bounds, but unfortunately she'll be looking at a bogey at best because the drop zone is quite difficult. You're not given a chance for a putt there, and if you're gonna run it, well, good luck.
I'm gonna jump to hole 2 with Kaidi Alsalu.
What a powerful shot.
This is a shorter par 4 for the FPO, and the MPO continues down the path to a longer basket position. Is Kaiti approaching with her second and looking at another birdie.
What a solid birdie. Or did I speak too soon? Nope.
Five-meter putt for Kaiti. Her second birdie. Now Kristina approaching from the drop zone.
Oh, challenging the OB line. Stays in bounds, I presume. It looked like the three other ladies played it very safely. A safe hyzer shot. Just aiming at the trees, and unfortunately Kristin also stayed behind the trees.
This is about 18 meters and she had practically nothing, but she's lucky she got out. That's about 7 meters left.
Yeah, but that's a smart play because the OP line is quite close to the basket on the left side, and you really don't want to risk it because, as you just saw, Jurčíková had to lay it up from the drop zone, and it's really bogey at best. So Silva is looking at a birdie here.
11 meters, 36 feet. Rachel Turton, 9 meters for the birdie.
Ooh.
The height was perfect, but Silva tickled the chains on the left side, and now she's coming back for 6 meters.
Still a solid effort for being the first putt of the day.
Now Turton, 9 meters for the birdie. That's low and left. Similar 6-meter par putt coming up for Turton.
I think this is a smart design for this hole because you want to play it safe from the tee to the right side of the basket, but then you will be putting against the OB line. A tough par save. Look for Christian.
And that's left, and Lat will begin her Konopište Open with a bogey. From the second card, Amanda Lennartsson, who we saw putting, took a double bogey here. But now, Jurčíková to save the bogey.
Oh, sneaks it in. Remember, she's only 14 at this moment. 14 years of age.
She's turning 15 in September, I believe.
Yeah.
Silva takes the casual par from 6 meters. That looked like she was in 1 meter.
Yeah, she makes it look so easy. Ooh, that didn't look easy, but gets the job done. And that's what counts. And then Kristen cleans up the green with a bogey.
Quite a few holes left to play. We're gonna take our first look on hole number 3 with Kaiti Alsalu. And she releases the disc too late. It cuts roll. She gets through, but that's a really short drive on this hole. This is her second. And it's a long way to the basket still for Kaiti. We're gonna take a short break here, and the Disc Golf Network will be right back to you with the action from Konopište Open 2025.
Hello, we're Kenna. We're a Dutch growing company. We love plants and we want to tell you some cool things about them. Just like humans, plants can communicate. They can sense when another plant is close. Plants look out for each other too. They warn neighbors about nearby threats by secreting substances. And studies have shown that plants love a good tune. We love and understand plants. Let our passion excite you too.
Every single FPO player is on the field, or at least has started their tournament in Benešov, Czechia. Triple lead for the Estonians at this moment. Keiti Tätte, Kaiti Alsalu, Anneli Togias-Mäniste doing great things. Kaiti being 3 under at this point. And Silva Saarinen, her tee shot on hole number 2. That's a nice positioning. Turton up next. Rachel is known for her distance shots. She really can get the disc far out. A bit on the left, but I believe she's looking at the basket straight up. flat.
I mean, the first shot is basically a routine hyzer throw for these ladies. It's the second shot that counts. Of course, you have to have a good placement after the first shot. Wow, that had some mustard on it. Very beautiful execution there from the young Czech.
Let's have some facts about Kristina. So she's 14, turning 15 in September. And she's been coached professionally for the past 4 years. And it seems that the coaching is working and she's doing lots of work.
Yeah, and it shows, for sure. I mean, the form is basically perfect. There's nothing to complain about, really.
And that seemed like a simple shot, but that was a severe uphill on her run-up. And she made it look so easy. Ruchikova has a twin sister who also plays disc golf, but not at the DGPT at the moment. She's reigning Czech Republic FPO champion, and she's reigning Central European champion.
You mean FPO, not the junior? Oh yeah, okay.
Czech FPO champion.
Quite impressive, quite impressive.
Silva.
Was she running it for it?
That was her signature turnover upshot.
Left some putting to do, unfortunately.
Turton on the green.
The OB line at about circle's edge behind the basket, but I don't think it comes in play. Unless you mess up real badly. And Kristin is not making this easy for herself, really. Leaving a bunch of tester putts for these first couple of holes.
You're gonna see Kaiti Alsalu. He's from hole 3, just a moment to go. This is her upshot on hole 3. Gets a nice roll downhill towards the basket.
Keeps on going.
And landed really close to the pin. And here's Katie Tatte on hole number 5, and this is for par.
Takes no chances with that. Beautiful execution. This is considered a must-get birdie, I think, this hole number 2, so would have been a bummer if she didn't get that.
Yurshikova.
Solid. Heart of the chains.
It's really interesting also to analyze new players and their forms. I really picked up the wrist action for Kristina just before she releases the disc. Really gives that a spin. Take a note on that. Silva Saarinen in the basket. Rachel Churton also takes the birdie. So that will be a star frame for our first feature card in FPO. They're headed towards hole number 3, from which we can see this Kati Alsalu putt for the par. We're gonna take on Katie Tatte, throwing her tee shot on hole number 6.
A very gettable birdie.
We'll see where her disc landed in just a moment. Katie Tatte currently through the first holes, she is in the top of the leaderboard. Ida Emilie Nesse is also a big name to catch from this board. I believe we'll be seeing her on the coverage this season. A very young Norwegian player. If I can recall, she's currently 16 years old. I might be wrong about that, so don't call me on that.
But it's fun to see the future of disc golf gathering here in Czech Republic.
Kati Alsalu throwing on hole number 4. This is a really tough hole for the FPO because the way to the basket is not simple. You have to 50% of the time you have to crash through something, even that bush on the left or those pine trees on the right. And this might be a great hole for Anniken Steen if she can manage this shot over the bushes on the left. Does it have the carry?
There's a little bit of advantage for the lefties, yes, and this is how you do it. The uphill is according to our statistics, it's 3 meters, 1 meters, 1 meter, I guess. Because I'm looking at the caddy book right now, and this is a nice new feature I haven't seen before, where the caddy book says how much elevation you have. And it's in the graphics too. I think the MPO basket is 3 meters and the FPO is 1 meter. And it's a laser shot. Right through the bushes and the trees.
Matilda Ringboom shows us how to do it with a righty backhand shot. The safest play would be a big forehand from the left side. Sila Saarinen, tee of 3. It's a bit on the right.
Playing it very safe.
Gets a cut roll into the middle.
You could go with a roller too and get more to the right, which will open your gap. Looks like we are not seeing that with the first 3 players. It is a very gettable par 5 unless your disc does this and rolls towards the OB. So there's a OB line that goes on the left side all the way to the basket, and I think it's in play very much.
Because now that one brand's Kristin would have almost been in the opening. Christina. Look at this shot, Jani.
This very beautiful shot there. Great placement for the second shot.
Good distance from the young. While we are seeing these shots, I'd like to ask Andrew Gum about the crew that has been making this event happen. Oh my gosh, what a role from Kaidi Alsalu. Andrew, I've been hearing there's almost 70 people on the course making this event possible. Can you tell us a bit more about them?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been here all week. Christoph Novak and his team and a group of volunteers have been doing a really splendid job. It's a lot of work on this property. It's big, you know, rolling hills and beautiful trees, and as it's only a temporary event, it needs to be cleaned out every 2 years when they come. Nobody takes care of this property in the times when it's not a disc golf course. It's just a wild hunting grounds, or old hunting grounds from the Konopiště Castle, namely Franz Ferdinand and those guys. But yeah, they put in a fantastic work and done a great job, and they've been a really pleasure to work with all along for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, setting up a fantastic event here. A shout out to all those people.
Thank you, Andrew. This is Silva, on number 3. Her second shot gets high above the branches and makes it to the open. So a very bad roll away from Kaidi Alsalu on hole number 4, and Katie Tatte, a masterful execution on hole number 7, the long tunnel shot. She's in the circle for birdie. This is a great tee shot from Kristin. Her second forehand on this hole.
Is it drifting a bit too much to the right? I'm not sure.
I believe she should be looking at the basket from there. There is a lot of disc golf left to be played, and Kristin, if someone knows that, she knows that anything can happen until the very last hole of the tournament. And she's not worrying about these first ones, she's just enjoying the weather and the disc golf itself.
I mean, she's easily the most experienced player of these 4. Rachel Turton used to play Ultimate, and I think she still does, but more and more disc golf. Silva Saarinen also very young still. Made her stride during the last maybe 3 years, and of course Jurčíková, only 14 years of age.
This was Kaiti's third. Hole number 4. That was a
very unfortunate roll away.
Christina.
You cannot do better than this.
I mean, this is her second shot. She took so much distance off the tee. I feel like she could have gone for the eagle even with the huge shot, but that might have been a risky play.
On that hole you can risk it, throwing a roller, but that's a risk. And if the disc doesn't stand up, it goes to the left and you're looking at an OB stroke there.
Now this is Katie Tatte, 7 for the birdie. Just about 7 to 8 meters. She's looking solid, Jani.
Yeah. She's had a lot of troubles with putting previous years, but I think she's worked on that. And as we saw just a moment ago, she used the turbo pot on that very short range bullseye pot. and I think that's the solution she came up with after missing a bunch of 4-5 meter shots.
Saarinen, her third. A bit low.
This is low.
It does skip, but it's still a bit far from the basket.
Luckily, it sneaked under, went through the tree. Oh, this is yanked to the left. Challenging the OB line. But fortunately, I think it got out of there. This is no better. It was okay.
Just got through the branches.
Yeah. For a while, I thought it had hit the tree.
We weren't giving it high hopes, and that was for a reason.
Yeah.
Kristin Latt, throwing 3.
Yeah, solid enough. Could have given it a little bit more juice, I believe, to have a better look for the birdie.
Turton, representing Great Britain in Konopište, along with her fellow Brits, of course. That is still outside C2. She had to take a high route to the green, but not quite making it.
Now Juršikova will go with the spike hyzer, I believe. Yep. But leaves it a bit short.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been better. Let's be honest, it could have been better.
It was better than Turton's, but she's still outside C1.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Silva. This is her fourth, about 35 meters away still. But she's now in the bullseye, picking up the par.
Just a solid layup. Safe and simple. Very focused look on her face. No flirting with the camera, as some players sometimes do.
I feel like Kristin and Silva both are very focused on their game during these rounds.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's strictly business.
Say steady layup for Rachel.
This is a long birdie look for Latt. It was quite a hard one too. And remember, there is the OB line, and I'm not sure if she just went OB. Did she?
That might have been just safe for that. Next up, Yurshikova for the birdie. Misses the basket from the right. Kristin is facing about a 15-meter comebacker uphill. Yurshikova, I believe, about 10. Barely safe.
Barely safe, but still a long comebacker.
Oh, hey, think about that. She didn't actually took it vertically, so maybe she was out of bounds.
Yeah, I think it was out of bounds.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is for bogey and a long one.
Just like you said, Yanni, she's making it really hard for herself on this opening round, and that's on the left.
Yeah, just very unnecessary double bogey because you can't birdie this hole.
Yurshikova for par to get 2 strokes off a flat.
Floater went in.
I'm still not seeing any wobble at all. Not on her drives, not on the upshots, not on the putting.
No nerves whatsoever, and it's quite extraordinary to see such a young player to play in such a venue with no nerves.
Silva also picking up the easy par, which ended up being real good score. He skated at the tee number 8, the island hole.
Parking it. Yeah, a beautiful shot.
Great Anheuser release.
Yeah.
Just landing in the bullseye. Anniken Steen. Hole number 5. Here's Alsalu, her second on number 5. That skips beautifully to the green. Back to tee number 4. This is looking like a shot that can be found from Silva's repertoire. Just a straight shot through everything. Understable disc, but is this enough for understability? I believe it faded out a bit early to the left. And now she hopes the disc sticked.
Yeah, it needed a lot more power and Silva didn't quite commit to it. Rachel Turton probably going for the sidearm because she certainly has it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, yeah, you can see this.
There was such a casual throw for Rachel Turton, and she's almost in the bullseye.
Yeah, there's a lot of advantages if you know the sidearm, especially on these kind of holes. And in general.
Yurishikova.
This one fades out a bit too early, but if it caught the bushes, she'll be looking at a pot there.
And Lat with the double bogey from hole number 3. This is looking great.
Yep. Makes the correction and there it is.
Takes the CTP.
Yeah, and a long-awaited birdie.
Kristin is currently 2 over par. 1 single bogey, 1 double bogey, and 1 birdie on her scorecard. That's a tough start for Lat.
Yeah, it's a rough start, but there's really nothing to be worried about. These things happen all the time. And if you let that thought of tough start creep into your head, the game is pretty much over for you. You cannot think about it. You just play one hole at a time.
Almost like
And Tatte using the turbo putt often on these close-up putts, and that was for the birdie. Look at this card. Katie is looking real solid today. 5 under through first 8.
Yeah, I mean, she's going hot today. We're gonna see. I think the good grounds here start with, let's say, -7 or -8 this year.
Yeah, Katie Tatte has played 4 events this season. They've all been B tiers, and she took every one of them down. So she's having a solid and comfortable feeling of her game, and it seems to be working here in Konopište for the first round. Now Silva far off to the left on hole number 4. This is for birdie. Circle 2's edge. Landed in the bullseye for par.
That was good enough.
And here's Yurishikova. In the bush. Does she get it high enough? The height was fine. A bit too much right. Should be picking up a par. Turton grabs the birdie. Marvelous shot off the tee. Will be Silva tapping in the par before Kristin Ladd, who's been keeping a 7-year break from Konopište Open. She played here last time in 2018.
So far, the comeback hasn't showed us anything significant.
Kristin first played Konopište Open in 2017 as the Disc Golf World Tour, and she took the 4th place. In 2018, she also took the 4th.
Ooh.
So, something to think about.
But she's improved a lot since 2018, I think.
Oh, you don't say. That is a lot of improvement, and she actually shared some old videos from 2018, and she's happy to be back here. And we're happy to see her here. Back to Katie Tatte, tee number 9, a long par 5 downhill, almost 20 meters descent on this one single hole, even a bit more than 20 meters. That was a beautiful shot from Tätte. And here's Anneli. Togias Maniste. Same card as Katie. Both solid shots. I mean, Jani, we've been following these Estonians for a while now. For 2 seasons, they've always kind of been there, tickling for the biggest prize in these tournaments. Sometimes a bit off, sometimes more in the game. And now they're competing against each other, it seems like.
And it's fun to see these Estonians, because when Kristin came to the scene, I think when you have such a trailblazer like Kristin, there will be a lot of followers, and we're seeing that happen now.
We'll keep a short break on DGN. We'll be right back.
We are here with Simon line, Neutron Balance, the first mid-range in the Simon line. If I had to compare it to an MVP disc, I would say a reactor that feels a bit more like a hex, but flies slightly more overstable than a reactor. This is a disc that could really handle anything. Windy days, forehand and backhand. I will get aces with this, I don't doubt that. The Simon line Balance, available now.
That's nice. Welcome to the 2025 Zuka Mandatory Safety Training Meeting. These are key and essential.
Hey guys, first time, huh? This is my favorite week of the year. Right on?
Yeah.
Accidents, injuries, damage. The zoo. If we're not here to learn, the exit's right over there.
Back in Konopište for the first round, and tee number 5 with Rachel Turton takes the forehand shot towards the opening. She's looking straight into that middle island of trees, which is totally in bounds. She has to go around it either from the right or the left side, and I believe she's looking at the right hand hyzer line. As will do Kristin, but that seemed a bit short. We hope she has a nice view with the hyzer on her second. Now Saarinen, currently 1 under par with the birdie on hole number 2.
Also on this hole there's a very dangerous OB on the left side, so you really want the disc to go to the right.
That might be trouble for Silva. She hit the low-hanging thick tree in the middle. She might be right under it. Juršikova,
they all play it very safe. They don't want to risk the left side at all.
But that is great. That's in the middle of the opening, and Juršikova also has a solid sidearm play and sidearm game, which really helps her here.
I mean, nowadays, if you want to make it as a disc golfer, you cannot omit the sidearm.
Siis Katie Tätte, number 9, her second. This is high and right. That is a mistake for Tätte. Gets the green flag though. Might be in the trees on the right. Back to 5 with Jursikova. There's a clear line on the right side.
Not sure about that shot. Well, it got the applause.
Yeah. A little bit low powered. This is a par 4, so you want to be close. And Rachel Turton didn't have any success with her second lat. Now this needs to get through those trees. A bit left, that's outside C1. Now where is Silva? Yeah, she had nothing but a peach shot, and that was her third. And this is now Katie's third. She doesn't have much options.
Yeah, she's got nothing.
That is a depressing wall of branches. She has the one opening that she was looking at, but now she might be opting for the steep Anheuser forehand flick.
With maybe a roll. Yeah, that was a prayer.
That was a non-answered prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no recall for that. And now here's Christina. Her third. Just playing golf.
Yeah. No frills. Just lay it up under the basket and pick up your par.
Silva hasn't had quite the start for the round that she was hoping for. I'm interested to see if she actually utilizes the forehand that she was practicing on her social media channel. For example, for hole 8 she threw the flick forehand, trying to skip into the island, as we see Lat approaching the pin. Here's Silva for par. Uphill putt, circle 2's edge. Closer and closer, even so, but not in the basket. And that's gonna be a bogey for Saarinen. She's gonna be even through 5.
We got Gummy Bear, Mr. Andrew Gum on the course. Can you tell us about what does it look like on the green at the moment? How's the weather? Seems like it's windier than when we started.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's absolutely perfect conditions with no wind, and then just as we turned the corner on this split fairway, it's started blowing pretty significantly. And it's still a really beautiful day. The sun is warming us up very quickly. Feels quite a bit warmer than the about 12, 13 degrees that it must be. Yeah, wind even feels pretty good. Gorgeous trees all about. As you saw from that tee shot, one of the most pretty looking sceneries heading down the fairway. You got this big red or purple tree. It's actually a copper beech or a purple beech. Really stands out against all the other lush greenery. And all the players will tell you this is one of the funnest places to play. As the tour is concentrated mostly in Northern Europe, we don't see these kind of deciduous trees so often, and they make for absolutely beautiful obstacles on a disc golf course. So really enjoying all the scenery out here, as everybody does.
As we're witnessing Rachel Turton struggling with the putt, Andrew, is the wind affecting the putts or the throws? Is it hard enough for that? Do we get Andrew's opinion on the wind and its effects on the shots?
We'll be closing into Andrew in just a moment. We see Jursikova, and she left that to the left.
Yeah, it seems like there are some nerves kicking in.
Lat, powerful putt, gets the par.
So we see a bunch of bogeys and a par from this feature card. And a double bogey for Rachel Turton.
Anneli Togias-Manniste found the out of bounds. Now she gets the putter in. That was not the best performance for Anneli. But she took the 5, saved the par. That also for the par in. So Katie and Anneli have matching scorecards from hole 5 to hole 9. There's Maria Elde Kristinardottir. She's able to get the birdie on hole 9, the only birdie for this card number 4. Christian Günther also takes the par. She's from Germany. Here is the top 10. At this moment, all players here under par. Katie Tatte leading with 5 under par through 9. A real solid score. Togias-Manniste, Mikuláštik and Und following suit with 4 under par. And Tatte, tee of 10. And that is exactly what happened. There is a mandatory on hole number 10. It is a double
this
mandatory.
Is very close.
Ooh. Just sneaks in for what I can see
yeah,
here.
I think it hit the mandatory.
Now back to tee number 6 with Kristin Latt.
A very slow start for Kristin, the favorite.
And that's short too, and behind the bush and the tree.
Yeah, and this is a very gettable birdie for these ladies.
We go downhill here, about 12 meters of elevation drop on one single hole. Silva takes this wide. This is turning.
Yeah, needs to come back. It's a bit long, but
that's a 6-meter birdie putt for Silva, and that's exactly what she needed.
Yeah, at this moment she really needs to get those birdies.
Yurshikova.
This is a turnover.
Needs to come back.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Maybe has a look behind that bush.
It's a downhill look.
This is Turton a while ago.
Also behind the bush. Not behind the bush, okay, sorry. But still a long putt downhill.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if she wants to. No, she didn't want to risk it at all.
Circle 2's edge downhill.
Yeah. Wise decision.
Took the double bogey on hole number 5 just a moment ago, and she's also even par for the day. Had 2 solid birdies before that. Now here's Kristina. She's 1 over. Is she running this? She is, and that is too far, and now she just wants it to stay.
Gets a little bit of a roll away.
I'm really surprised to see that the first feature card took 4 strokes over par on the last hole. The par 4. Excuse me. 2 single bogeys, 1 double bogey, and a par for Latt, who's now putting for birdie on hole 6. A bit low. Stays in the bullseye for par.
So Silva still has a birdie look. Or does she? Ooh. Does the tree come into play?
Well, I was...
Okay, yeah.
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 She was just waiting for her turn. Okay. Yurshikova for par. About 6 meters.
Nice comebacker.
Great release.
Yeah, very important for the confidence.
She looks relaxed and solid. And here's Silva. Just about 6 to 7 meters for birdie. No problem at all.
Easy does it.
Back under par. Now I'm gonna toss it down to Andrew on the course. Our very own Gummy Bear. Rachel is putting for par here. How do you feel about the energy in the first feature card? It's a bit of a slow start. What's going on?
It's very tense and very low energy, I would say. Kind of surprising that it seems like the youngster is the one that's least affected by the nerves, which is not what you would expect to see with all these seasoned veterans on the card. So we'll see if that can pick up that energy as we move forward on the course. These first few holes do require a lot of energy up and down the hills, but I think there is some nerves here as the European season's kicking off.
Thank you, Andrew. And as we see Anneli Togias-Manniste take a big time birdie on hole number 10. And this is now Katie Tättes disc that is just...
Yeah, we need to see the other stake too. Well, it's not our business to decide if it's in or out, but
That
I
is true.
still would have liked to see that. But yeah, they deemed it out.
They couldn't find one spot on the disc that was inbounds.
Yeah.
And here is the leaderboard. At this moment, Anneli Togias managed the 5 down through 10. They switched places with Katie Tatte, who took the unfortunate bogey after that close call on the OB line. Hole 7, I really love this hole. This is one of the picturesque holes in Konopište, uphill, guarded by these big trees both sides, and Silva turns that a bit too much over and doesn't quite get the carry to the basket. Now, Lat, currently 1 over par, hits a branch on the right side and just has the carry to circle's edge. Now what will we see from Yurshikova? 1 over par for the round.
Oh, that's an early release.
And she gets a bit away with it, but that's circle 2's edge. That's not closer than that. And Turton.
Yep. Straight and narrow.
This is what we want to see, jumping into the bullseye's edge for Turton.
Yeah, hit the gap perfectly, and that's the result she was looking for. Yet another par 5.
Togias managed to taking the full throw line. A full flex.
Yeah, that had some zip on it.
Now, if Jani, you would have to give some thoughts to us, how probable did you think it would be that we wouldn't see Kristin Latz in the leaderboard through her first 7 holes?
I mean, we're still early in the round. Just 7 holes played, so she still has some 10 or so holes to get birdies, and there are plenty of birdie opportunities left. But of course, I would have expected more from Kristin. But she has been on a hiatus for about 3 weeks now. Champions Cup was the last showing for her. And I don't know, maybe it takes some time for her to get back to pace.
Lat is now in the bullseye for par. And Silva, similar distance. About 10 meters left, circle's edge for uphill birdie. And hits the chains too high and center. The disc flings out to the left. Turton picks up the great birdie. Another stroke for the whole card. Yurshikova. A steady par for her. day full of action still ahead of us, but we're gonna take a short break on DGN and we'll be right back to you with more action from Konopište.
I sort of like proved to myself that I still got it. Whatever is meant to happen with me will happen. And what I want wants me even more, so I just have to be open to receive it.
Hey everyone, Ganonbur here, and I want to invite you to compete in the Power Disc Golf Academy Championship Series. This is the only professional and amateur nationwide disc golf series, and everyone is welcome to compete. Qualifier events will be held in cities across North America. If you place high enough at a qualifier event, you'll earn the invitation to compete in our championship event at Eagles Crossing Disc Golf Course. Scan this QR code for dates and locations of the qualifying events. We hope to see you there.
Some of my favorite discs in my bag are the A-Series discs. They're the ones I lean on to get close to the basket. These are torque-resistant discs, provide a consistent fade at the end of the flight. The best way to find your flight is to get out and use these discs yourself.
Open champion, Konopište!
If you design, if you test, if you manufacture, there is only one technology partner you need. TriMech Group is the leading provider of design, engineering, and manufacturing solutions for thousands of companies across North America and Europe. Innovation starts here. TriMechGroup.com.
Togi has managed her second shot on hole 11. A fierceful release, getting the full flight once again on this other par 5. And now tee of 8. I had my doubts on this hole when we came here for the Euro Tour. It was just a straight up 90-meter hole with nothing in the way, but now there is an island. So you have to hit the island, as does Rachel Turton right here, in the bullseye. Great throw. And if you don't hit the island, there is an drop zone from which you can putt for the par save. Circle 2. And Silva is going with the backhand. Alright, so she was just teasing us with the forehand rehearsals yesterday. This is why she picks up the backhand.
Oh, beautifully executed there. This is basically a birdie or a bogey, this hole.
Lat. Masterful shot in the bullseye.
Also, the elevated basket makes you think twice if you're gonna run it from the drop zone. These ladies don't need to worry about that.
Yep. That hole is practically done. Let's move forward.
I think Christina still has a putt. It's not a given. Especially, I think her body language is not that confident anymore. And there has been some shaky shots.
Now thinking about her form, both in driving and on putting green, do you see some affection she might have from other pro players from those styles. Who has she been watching all these years?
Think. I'm not sure if she's watched Henna Blomroos, but there's something very similar with their form. Very snappy, very compact. And the run-up seems pretty similar.
I feel like there's something similar in her and Niklas Anttila's putting with the wrist action.
Could be. Could be. Oh,
a floater.
That was an airmail.
Off to the right.
I hope I didn't jinx it.
I'm sure you didn't.
I can't take the blame.
Now she has the comebacker. About 8 meters. One of the rare raised baskets on this course.
This is a longer putt than the first one. 4 par to an elevated basket, uphill, and to the left.
That is a 3-putt green.
What a devastating result
for Kristina Juršíková. Kristin takes the birdie.
And I gotta say, witnessing something like that when you're playing, it takes down the energy of the group. Because even if you're focusing on your own game, you kind of feel like we're in this together. We're playing against the course, not against each other. At least at this moment. It's only the first round, and we're only halfway through. So it's like you wish the best for your card mates, and when you witness someone take a 3-putt, you don't feel good about it. At least I don't.
Silva Saarinen takes the birdie, and she rises to tied 5th place with -2 for the day. 3 birdies, 1 single bogey for Silva. Rachel Turton has 4 birdies but 1 double bogey from hole number 5.
These people here on the second card, or the second feature card, are on fire officially. Have to correct myself, they are not on the second feature card, they're on the 4th card. Doing amazing things there.
And we are seeing the Zeni flyover from hole number 11.
Beautiful hole, one of the signature holes, I guess, on the Franz Ferdinand, of course. Lots of space to show your distance, as is the case on many of the holes here. One of the par 5s, there are many par 5s here. You don't really have to worry about the OBs until the second or the third shot. But there is the OB island on the left side, just before the basket. So really one of the beautiful holes here on this course.
And that flyover was sponsored by Zeni Eyewear for everyone. And remember to use the code DGPT for 10% off on Zeni's order. Rachel Turton preparing for her tee shot on this par 5.
This course is a very fun mixture of woodsy golf and park style golf. It's more of a park style golf, I would say, but plenty of trees to navigate through. And for sure, you have a great advantage if you have great distance.
We were talking about this hole, Jani, before the show, and looking at the caddy book, it says 23 meters decline in elevation, and we were questioning that. And we're hearing a word around the field that it is very steep downhill that can't be seen on cameras. So the cameras don't do justice for this decline, and that might be one reason for the players to skip, or excuse me, flip the disc too much to the right towards the outer curve and those trees there.
Yeah, that looked a very bad break for Silva. And look at this too.
Kristin way too low and turning over.
Yeah. Difficulties for Kristin too. Let's see the young Czech. Oh no. This means trouble. Yep.
Just stays on the grass there, or did I see incorrectly?
I'm not sure if it did. Looked like it crept inside the tree, the bushes.
Well, we'll see soon. Really low energy on the first feature card. It keeps on going. I believe Andy's down with them and he's walking right beside the feature card. As we see Togias Männistö putting for birdie on hole 11. Andy, we've been talking about this earlier, and Kristin seems to have maybe one of those lower days on her energy levels, but also for the shot selection and the kind of everything. Would you have something to say about that?
Absolutely. Definitely doesn't seem her normal self. We're used to seeing her do such super heroic stuff on the course, but this is one of those reminders that she is human, and she does, struggle with nerves and execution issues just as every other player does and every athlete goes through. Seems like she's very sluggish out of the gates. As Yanni's been saying, there's plenty of golf to be played, and I'm sure she'll turn it on. And she's given us so many exciting comebacks and performances over these years that we could never count her out. But yeah, definitely not what we expect to see. Shoulders a little bit lower, facial expressions pretty non-existent, quite neutral, if not on the more lower end of, kind of just doesn't seem to be super present at the moment. Of course, that last shot was really good there. Maybe that'll help jumpstart her round and get that momentum building. Hole 8, I'm speaking of, with the birdie.
That is true. Thank you, Andy. Ryshikova, her second, and now she's in the middle of the fairway. We see Togias Männistö on tee number 12. Barely in bounds, a bit low for Anneli.
Just enough juiced.
Now, error here is to turn it too much to the right.
That's what we're seeing here. Well, that's okay.
Low enough to stop in time.
Yeah, that shot was kind of bad enough.
Yeah.
to not be worse.
Well, I'm not arguing you about that. Two very low shots for Kristin. This is Tätte. This is looking great. That's because it's in the bullseye.
Right on the money there. Picking up birdie after birdie. And on a hole like this, you don't want to go to your knee for the second shot. So much to go.
And now Silva's headed to the left. Stays on the fairway. There is an OB area of trees and bushes on the left. Silva stays clear of that. Rachel Turton under the trees.
A long way to go to the pin. Rachel has to go stand still. No room for a run-up. And this
Right.
looks okay. Yeah.
Not on the green. Solid
No
shot.
problems there. Really a solid recovery shot from the bushes. Avoids the OB very deliberately, I would say.
Yeah, a very respectable approach from the position she had. And Silva Saarinen now throwing 3-9.
Goes around the OB.
Does it continue towards the basket? Gets to circle 2.
Yeah, circle 2, a long pot. We haven't seen many of those made from Silva this round. He's looking good. I think Kristen was a little bit more to the right than she would have hoped for. Still left her a birdie look.
Tokias man is still not able to card the birdie on hole 12. Well, we are back on hole 9 with Rushikova. Fine option.
Yeah, still leaves quite a long birdie look for her.
And the green here is kind of skippy. It's a fast green, and if you hit the green under the pin, you might as well say goodbye to your birdie, for you're gonna get an extra stroke from that out of bounds behind the basket. And Tokias man takes the par. Rachel Turton now throwing 3. You can see the ground turns brown there under the basket, and that's a slippery slope, so to speak. This is coming in hard.
Nope.
Just gets the breaks in the
Yeah,
circle.
just in time.
We see these feature card players finishing the hole number 9 in the beat. I'm gonna toss it down to Andrew because he has some interesting information about Nicole Mikuláštík, who's currently 3rd, and she's 5 down through 15 holes. Andy, could you tell us something more about her?
Absolutely, my pleasure. Yeah, she's 15 years old, from the Czech Republic. She qualified off the AM event last week, played incredible there, shot above her rating, volunteered all week helping set up the course. She worked so hard. She was there, first one there, last one to leave, doing everything we asked and more. And now I interviewed her yesterday for MDG. She said she was just a little nervous, but hoping to have fun and gain from the experience. And she's doing more than that. She's putting together a hot score. I couldn't be happier to see that result. And it's a pretty exciting debut here for the young Czech player.
That is so great to hear. Thank you, Andy. Mikuláš currently has 8 birdies for the day. 1 double bogey from hole 8 and 1 single bogey from hole 5. That is a great card. And to hear that she's been volunteering here to building up this course, and she's a young local too, like Juršíková. I'm so happy to see these
You're building
players.
up karma. When you work for the tournament, you work for the course will treat you better. That's something we all, as disc golfers, should know.
For sure. Silva not happy on her game today. And no wonder. Rachel Turton is putting for birdie about 9 meters. Takes the birdie. That will be her 5th of the day.
Yeah. That was probably an energy booster for her.
Juršíková for the par. Saarinen takes the par. Kristin, another par, so 1 birdie and 3 pars for the group. A really slow pace continues on with this first feature card. We'll be right back with you from Konopiště Open 2025 on Disc Golf Network.
Experience is the greatest teacher, and I'm so blessed after 40 years and 150 so courses, every project I'm still learning. I think when you get down to it, a lot of it is about vision. There's the vision for individual holes, there's the vision for the property and what it can become as a course and what it can become as a venue. And then there's the vision for what disc golf can become.
We are back from Konopište 2025. Rachel Turton, tee number 10 with double mandatory. This is looking fine. Ooh.
That was a good one.
Hits the ground about 2 meters short of the pin. Stays in the bullseye.
And most of all, clears the double mando, which is the biggest obstacle and the, let's say, only obstacle on this hole.
And Turton already has the turkey from holes 7, 8 and 9. And she's looking at another birdie, but Silva Saarinen underperforming again.
Yeah, that was a misfire for sure.
Lat. Gets to the edge, but the grass is too thick and too tall for Lat to get a skip.
I mean, she got the lazy applause. Maybe there was something to it that we didn't see.
Yurshikova, this has the height, does it have the turn? Hits the branches.
But I think it cleared the mando.
Might have done so.
Yeah.
They might have rolled around the mandatory, but in a correct way.
Yeah, it wasn't a great result, but not the worst one.
Now, Jani, you've been playing in tough places and tough positions. You've been competing for victories. How are those players feeling on these rounds when you can't just find the best possible height for the throw on, or the disc like kind of turn over on you, and how will you get out of that?
I mean, that's the question we all think about all the time when we underperform. I think the best solution is to focus on, well, this is a cliche, one shot at a time. And I once asked Timo Pursio, who is one of the legends of Finnish disc golf, like, what do you do when nothing goes your way? He told me, just try to throw a beautiful shot.
That is a great advice.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, focus on make it beautiful. So you want to see it in your eyes, like before you throw in your mind's eye, and then just try to focus on painting a beautiful picture of a shot, and then do it. And in this case, beauty is more important than the result. The beauty brings the result with it.
Those are some wise words from Timo. And I bet many players now in the FPO field would like to hear those. Yurshikova. Just an inch on the left. Skips on top of the rim. Lands to 5 meters.
Yeah, seems like Kristin got a very lucky break. I mean, maybe she went for it, but that's a huge skip.
Lat clears the hole. Yurshikova in the basket for par. It's just the correct spot on the chains. So a bit right from the center pole and a bit higher than the middle point. Rachel Turton takes up her 4th birdie in a row, while Saarinen has to pick up the par. And Jani Länsio, I'm gonna take you with me to make a form review of Kristin Lat on the tee of 10.
obviously one of the best sidearms in the game. She goes directly forward, slams the left leg down, and lets the arm follow forward. And this is important when you really have to turn your torso towards the release. You don't want to be stiff. You really want to throw with the body when you're throwing sidearm. You want to turn your body facing, your chest facing the target, and then let the arm follow.
And of course, on this instance, the disc left her hand maybe a bit too much of an Anheuser angle, would you say?
Definitely, and it had a little bit of wobble, uncharacteristic for Kristin's form. She's a very reliable sidearm thrower. But luckily enough, it got the skips, and the result is birdie.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be proven wrong by Kristin in any point, and I was proven wrong there. I thought it might not get any skips at all, but luckily she got towards the basket and was able to cart the birdie.
Yeah, and the course management has been working long hours here, grooming the grass.
Yeah, the crew came here 3 weeks prior to these events, and before this Konopište Open, this Elite Series event at Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe, there was an amateur open at Konopište. So before that event, all of this grass that you see, every bit of this grass was mowed twice. And after the amateur event, before this Elite Series event, there was 1 round of mowing for the whole green. Rachel Turton, tee of 11, her shot turns a bit too much to the right, doesn't quite use the fairway. It is clearly opening a bit more on the left side, as we saw Anneli Togias-Mäniste a few moments ago. Utilize all this fairway like Kristin Ladd does here. Oh, what a lift up in the late flight. Great distance off the tee for Ladd.
Energetic throw. Yet again a par 5. There are plenty of par 5s, which means there are plenty of birdie opportunities. More than normally, I would say.
Especially for the FPO. If I'm correct, 2 of the MPO par 4s are marked as par 5 for the FPO. Juršíková turned over, headed to the right.
And that means trouble, but it kicked out. What a lucky break.
She's gonna take that.
Yeah, any day. But you want to be more to the left on this hole, for sure.
Yeah, the tee on hole 11, where we just saw the first feature card, the tee is pushed back from 2 years back about 20 meters, so 66 feet longer hole and longer fairway on the hole 11. And here's Katie Tatte on 14. Throwing her second. Great line.
Yeah, for a moment I thought it was going in.
Katie Tatte and Anneli Togias-Mäniste from Estonia battling fiercely on the top. They're currently on hole 14, while Nicole Mikuláštík is on hole 17 currently, almost done with her round. Juršíková taking the Anheuser route, but not giving it enough commitment. Fading left clear from the trees though.
And stayed in bounds. I'm sure she wasn't even thinking about the OB there. Lots of struggles for the young, super talented player.
Toki's managed it for her third. She's under the bucket. Back to 11. Turton takes the Anheuser, and you can see it. There's the huge purple tree before the basket, and it's really tough to get through those branches, so you might want to go around them from the left. And this is one of those holes where Silva Saarinen, with bad positioning, is painting herself a really tough time and tough painting to approach the basket. This is the exact error I'm thinking about on this hole, and it's not clear if she can get through of those branches on the right, because she doesn't have a forehand to go over from the left side. We're going to hole 12 with Anniken Steen.
Will it get through? It does get through. She doesn't have to even putt that.
We can see the one shot replay for Anniken Christiansen Steen. Kristin Latt.
Is this low enough? It is. And you need the skips, and I think it just got through the tree, cleared the three, doesn't have to deal with it anymore. And I mean, that's the most important thing. That's the thing she wanted.
We see Katie Tatte taking the birdie, another birdie for her on hole 14. Andy, you're walking down there with the first feature card. Can you tell us something about the copper beaches that are laying before the basket on hole 11?
Yes, they are absolutely beautiful trees, massive, and they're purple all year round, so they really stand out against all the other lush greenery. Here we see that disc punching through. It's lost one big branch on the right side this year, so there's a little more space to work it in from right to left, and they've cleared up some branches on the lower part, so the skips definitely play to get under it. But yeah, definitely a top 5 guardian tree worldwide in my opinion. It's just enormous and beautiful.
Thanks, Andy, for that insight. I wasn't aware of that branch getting away, because it has been really thick on the right side there, and Jursikova gets through all the branches.
Yeah, I didn't even know there's like top 10 of the guardian trees, but
of course there is.
But this tree made it into top 5.
I mean, that's top 3 on my list.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to go through your list at this moment. We'll go through that on the MPO show.
Yeah, and definitely after the grooming. I mean, if they took down some branches, I think its ranking got up.
And for sure. And Silva is going low. Does she get the slide? I'm not quite able to catch.
It seems like it's getting a bit colder there in the Czech Republic. Silva is now rocking the jacket and some gloves. And definitely we haven't seen the sun in a while. Now, you'll have to get creative here.
That's like 50 centimeters. Half of a meter down
Yeah, you
in
can go
between
low and then skip through. And she does that.
The problem is that those branches are spreading wide towards the basket too. So after the tree trunk itself, there's still many low-hanging branches, and we can't quite yet catch if those discs are actually puttable, if those lies are puttable.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. Here we see the tree.
And the basket is tucked so close to the tree on its backside, it seems like the players are not willing to risk for a skippy forehand shot around the bend, and I'm proving wrong there, but I don't want to see anything like this.
Yeah, for a while I thought Kristen cleared the tree already, but clearly not. She'll have to go through or under. She goes both. But not high enough.
Respectable effort, but too low.
Correct me if I'm not mistaken. Was that an eagle attempt?
I mean, it...
Yeah, it was.
It seems in the graph to be so.
Yeah.
And Silva had a clear look for the birdie, and she hits the top band. Clearly frustrated at this moment.
Yeah, no wonder. The round hasn't gone her way at all.
Yeah, I totally missed the fact that Kristen was actually putting for an eagle.
Oh,
Yurshikova.
The basket really grabbed it from the left side.
Yeah, this hole 11 goes downhill about 11 meters, so not as drastically as many other holes here in Franz Ferdinand. Turton for birdie. Barely on the left.
Yeah, that was a soft attempt, but just enough. Gets the job done, and that's all you want. Very snappy drive from Katie Tätte on hole 15. A very doable look from there.
Togias man is the tee of 15, par 4. Gets a nice turn for the drive, and she has a low ceiling upshot.
Yeah, definitely doable for the birdie.
And here she is, Nicole Mikuláštík on hole 18, currently 6 under par, and this is her second. About 4 meters left for the par. What a round!
Yeah, very solid delivery there.
And she just won at that, telling her caddy, "Why didn't I pick that up?" Here we can see the flyover of hole 12, which is a par 3 for the FPO.
Yeah, the MPO tee is further down to the left from this angle. You just have to clear the pond, and it's a little bit uphill, so you can give a lot of power to the disc and it'll probably stick to the green. So it's a very routine shot for these ladies.
I would argue that if there is one ace runnable hole on the course, it is this one.
Yeah,
the
for
backstop.
sure. Yes, for sure. But it seems like whenever there's water, you got a bit of nerves kicking in for some reason. I mean, you shouldn't even think about the water, but whenever there's water, you think about it.
Rachel Turton
this here is an ace run.
In the air, and in the bullseye for her 6th consecutive birdie. Currently solo 4th place for Rachel Turton from Great Britain. All birdies from 7 through 11. And here's Kristin Latt.
That was a yank job. Uh-oh. Okay, got in. Surprised herself.
Gets the green flag.
I mean, it wasn't pretty, but I think it got the job done still.
Juršíková, another early release for the 14-year-old Czech player, and that drops down.
Yeah, that'll be OB.
I'm hearing Kristin will have about just outside circle 2 putt, but very obstructed. So that might be a layup for the par.
Yeah, for sure.
Left to be seen. And now Saarinen on the tee. 2 under for the round, sharing the 9th place on the leaderboard. And another late release for Saarinen, out of bounds in the pond.
Yeah, that disc will sleep with the fish.
Well, Jani, what are we looking at here? Are Silva and Kristin aware of the situation, that they kind of had the pressure coming into this round, that there were really high hopes for them to take this event down, but now they're far behind?
I mean, they know for sure that they're playing poorly at this point. I'm not sure if they're checking the results. And well, I wouldn't check the results because that doesn't help me at all. Doesn't help anyone at this point, because you only want to give your best. Doesn't change the fact that you want to give your best no matter what anyone plays.
And talk about giving her best to this course, to this event. Nicole Mikulášik volunteering for the week, 16 years old, wants to have fun, a bit of stressed out, but comes out with 6 under par with 1 double bogey and 1 single bogey.
I'm sure we'll see her tomorrow in the lead card. Well, I'm not totally sure, but I'm pretty confident at this point that she'll be somewhere there in the top 2 cards.
Silva Saarinen, perfect throw, just a few meters in front of the tee pad after going out of bounds. Now Juršíková, is this high enough? That's another out of bounds for her.
Okay.
Left too low. This is going to be a big number for the young Czech. She's going to have to throw again. The disc didn't cross inbounds at any point. Deep breath. Let it fly.
This is gonna eat your nerves.
just below the cage.
Yeah, but that's a triple
Almost
bogey.
hitting it. Yeah, that's gonna be a triple. That is bad. For
yeah,
her.
it's heartbreaking to see, but also this is probably the biggest tournament of her career so far, biggest showing of her career so far. She's a young player, and if you get to go there when you're young, you're a lot tougher next year. You have to experience the pressure. Oh, what a bad break. Well, okay.
A little bit of a roll away.
No damage there. Nice effort, though.
Yep. Wasn't as obstructed as we feared. This is Juršíková's first ever Disc Golf Pro Tour event. And on this round 1, she's found some elite level difficulties. That's gonna be a triple bogey, which brings her to 4 over par for the day. Turton grabs the birdie.
6 birdies in a row.
Yep.
She has really picked up the pace, and not a moment too soon, I would say.
That's gonna take Rachel, who tied first place with Anneli Toges-Mäniste, Katie Tätte, and Nicole Mikulášik.
And Rachel won here 2 years ago, and I'm pretty sure the good memories make it easier for her to play. Could also be the reverse effect, but now it looks like she really has the fond memories and wants to repeat the victory.
That is true. Tätte wasn't able to card the birdie, hit the band and practically got the roll away to the same exact spot.
Well, a good recovery though.
Yeah, takes the par. Toges-Mäniste. 4 pars for her in a row. What a day. Some slow pace from the players we were expecting more of, and some big opportunities grabbed by these other players. So Rachel Turden, Anneli Toges-Mäniste, Katie Tätte and Nicole Mikulášik in the first position. -6 all of them.
Yeah, Turden kind of snuck up on the leaderboard.
Yeah, considering she's got 8 birdies in 12 holes, but she got get that one double bogey on hole 5.
Yeah, that was a very unfortunate. I mean, 3-putted that hole. But a great recovery after that. The most important feat for a good player is to have a very short memory. So you really have to forget about all the double bogeys and blemishes on the card and just keep on playing like it never happened. And seems like Rachel Turden did just that.
Rachel's played 8 events this season before this one, and from those she took down 5 events. One A-tier last weekend, the first DGPT Europe Q Series event, the Scottish Open, and those another 4 events were C-tiers at the United Kingdom. And now she's on the tee of 13, a par 3. She's come to play. That's another birdie look.
Yeah, for sure.
Calm and collected. This hole is sloping slightly to the right, so this forehand play is a risky one. But Kristin takes it wide and plays it perfectly.
Made it look easy.
Saarinen. No surprise going with the backhand. This needs to get a bit stable. It does, and in the bullseye. We're seeing a clinic from the feature card number 1 on hole 13. Now, Juršíková, can she recover?
Just fought through all the branches.
She has a look, folks. She has a look. We're gonna hear from Nicole Mikulášik. She's in the clubhouse after the round. Let's hear how she's feeling.
Nicole Mikulášik, you have played well over your rating and -6 the whole round until now at home soil with the best players in the world. How do you feel?
I'm feeling like a little bit nervous, but I wasn't looking at my score, so I didn't know how I'm playing, and I was like feel comfortable, and it was like I'm like home here, and it's good for me, so that's good, I think.
So congratulations for what you have done. Rest and enjoy the experience tomorrow of playing with some of the best players in the world. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. And congratulations on the great round. Yurshikova putting for birdie 9 meters.
Oh, that was so close. I just have to comment on Mikulášek. Really, the secret of keeping your calm is not to know what you're doing. Then you don't know. Then you don't focus on the result. You just focus on one shot at a time. And that's her secret.
That's a good recipe. We've seen that time and time again. Turton for the birdie.
7th in a row.
Solid putt. I can remember several occasions and several events from last two seasons. We've seen Rachel, and the putting has been the issue for her. She's got those solid drives and nice upshots, and then when it comes to the green, she's just a bit off here and there, but now she's in the center and she's doing some extraordinary things. She's leading the tournament with 1 stroke over 3 other players. Kristin and Silva both picking birdies. And the round is heating up here at Franz Ferdinand Park in Konopište Open 2025. We'll be right back with you.
Jonathan. Wow! Amazing!
Jonathan! Skulle du visa?
Hi. Yeah, check this pad out.
I think you should use your wrist a little bit more.
Why not?
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Back with the action in Konopište. Rachel Turton. 7 birdies in a row. Her first shot on par 4, hole number 14. Nothing too special about this one. We're going uphill, and the biggest incline in the elevation is just before the basket, totaling 6 meters on this one hole. Kristin drives straight on the fairway. Saarinen.
These are very safe and simple shots. That's all you want, that's all you need.
Yurshikova challenges the trees on the right but fades to the left just before them. And here she is, 7 birdies in a row, and Rachel is in solid position to get another one. She has the distance to go to the basket. 7 under through 13.
I hope she's not looking at the scores right now. But I'm afraid she is. Well, maybe that works for her.
She is the first one to measure the distance. There's nothing in the way, a slight headwind. This is kind of a tricky shot because there is this hump on the fairway and slopes a bit down and then it goes up towards the basket. You have to give the disc a bit height. And this is overturned.
Uh-oh. Misfired for sure, but no serious damage, really.
Yeah, Rachel relies on that rose-colored disc. Every single round she plays, and it has been a bit deceiving of a disc. Couple of seasons past. Silva Saarinen, her approach is about 12 meters short. She's looking at the basket.
Silva is known for her circle 2 putting. Hasn't quite delivered today, unfortunately.
It's about 100 meters. Also a bit short for lat. Yeah, this is uphill, so it needs about 1/15 of a drive to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Yurshikova has the most uphill run-up, I feel like. This is fading.
Way too overstable a disc for that shot.
Yeah. C2's edge.
Yeah, when you throw uphill, the overstability will surprise you quite many times. But I'm sure she has played this course many times before.
And thank you, Flight Factory, for being part of the DGPT Europe and sponsoring our drone coverage today. Flight Factory is now offering profile photos of every disc with parting line height and some dome measurements to help you know exactly how the discs will fly. So avoid surprises and shop at flightfactorydiscs.com to find the exact disc you are looking for. And I have to say, I really like those pictures of the parting line height and the profiles of the disc when I make my purchase decisions. So thank you, Flight Factory. Here's Turton. He's a long way outside C2. That's gonna be a par.
I definitely cannot be happy with the par on this hole, but second shot was a total misfire. And Yurshikova also left quite a lot to be desired. Has to putt from the knee. And did she leave a comebacker for that one? I think I'd like the camera to pan a little bit to the right to see that, but
it was a steady run, but not quite getting the height right. While Saarinen makes one of those silver putts that we've been needing.
Yeah, first one of today, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, there's not been many moments on the putting green when I've thought about myself that's the silver I know. That was one of those solid performances. A lat for birdie. This 209-meter par 4, number 14. On the right side, but stays in. That's gonna be Kristin's 5th birdie in the last 7 holes, so she's really picking up the pace. Now sitting 4 under par for the tournament and for the round. Kristina, another putt on the
awkward
knee.
stance, but shouldn't give her much headache. We're so close to the basket. Yep.
Gets the par done. Stays in the game on this hole, but that triple bogey on hole 12 really took her pace backwards. Let's look at the scores one more time. So Rachel Turton single-handedly in the lead, 7 down through 14 holes, followed by Nicole Mikuláštík on the 2nd position, and that there's something happening, for the Estonians have taken some bogeys, are not anymore 6 under par. And here we can see the Zeni flyover on hole 15. Jani, tell us about this hole.
Yet again, I think every other hole here is the signature hole of Konopište Open. Beautiful open hole in a way, but surrounded by OBs. Par 4, of course, you can take the birdie here, but it's not a gimme by no means.
Remember to code DGPT for 10% off on Zeni's eyewear orders.
The thing on this hole is that as much as you want the birdie, you are risking the OB. The faster you throw, the harder you throw, the closer to the basket you go.
So the Canna current weather conditions. You can see it's a beautiful day there. The solution for growth and bloom. Learn more at canna.com.
What a beautiful castle that is. I think it dates from 14th century or something. It's already like 700 years old. We're just outside Prague. It's like a 45-minute drive from the capital of Czechia. We're like in the center of Central Europe. Like
That is the
dead
point.
center of the continent.
Yeah. And practically no better place to put up a beautiful castle with a huge park on which to get to play disc golf once a year. So temporary course here in Franz Ferdinand, nothing permanently here, so if you go after or before this event, there's nothing. You will not find a basket here. And the first ever competition here was held in 2013. It was the first PDGA tournament of Czech Republic. That was the Czech Disc Golf Championships with 54 participants. And it was a in so-called old layout. So when 2015 came, Jussi Veresmaa from Discmania and a couple other fellas came here and totally made a new layout, which has been the building blocks and for all of the layouts on this course. And for the first time in 2023, so 2 years ago, we got specific FPO layouts with baskets, different baskets to holes 2, 4 and 7, and new tees to 5 different holes. And on this year we have new FPO baskets on holes 13 and 15. As we see the hole 17 currently in the pictures with card number 4. Anneli Togias-Männistö indicated that
yeah,
their tee shots.
Huge Anheuser shot uphill. And unfortunately Katie Tätte found the OB.
Kristin Latt on the tee of 15. There is now out of bounds on both sides added.
Yeah, and also if you go long, so it's totally surrounded by OBs.
Saarinen on the tee.
What a great shot.
Yeah, the tee shot looks exactly like hole 3. Similar, but now it's just going downhill towards the left side a bit. So the FPO basket is new one on this hole, and it sneaks up to this little corner in the trees to the right side. And that makes another tricky approach for Saarinen, who doesn't have practically a forehand approach shot on her book. Kristina Jurčíková, 14 years old, turning this drive a bit too much to the right. We've seen a couple of those shots from her this round. This is her first DGPT appearance, as this tournament itself is the first ever Disc Golf Pro Tour event in Czech Republic. And things are not quite going according to plan for Jurčíková. Tätte went out of bounds with an errant tee shot, way too much left, and now she's tucked in those branches, putting for par. It's about 10 meters still left, if I saw correctly.
Maybe a bit longer, and it's a severe.
And here is Rachel Turton. She won the Scottish Open last weekend as Daniel Davidson took down the MPO, and she is leading the DGPT Europe points stats with that victory.
And leading the tournament. So the danger here lurks on the left side, so whatever you do, don't turn over that sidearm.
And Kristin Latt almost hitting the basket with her second shot. She's 4 meters away of another birdie.
Yep, delivers the order. After a very slow start, Kristin seems to wake up just in time for the final stretch.
Jurčíková, low forehand. This needs to get the edge.
Yeah.
Ooh, similar shot
What
to
a
Kristin's.
What a nice ground play there from Jurčíková, and she'll be looking at a birdie, an easy birdie. A well-needed one. After a very low energy round for her. +4 at this point, standing at 26th place. Probably anticipated a little bit better from her, but maybe this is the lesson she was needing.
Turton picking up an approach disc. Lining up that low but sweeping forehand.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Looks
sweeping.
good. Yeah, no ground play whatsoever.
Just a subtle roll towards the basket. And Rachel is once again in the bullseye for birdie. Although she got the par on 14, that's gonna be her 8th birdie in 9 holes.
Yeah, stretching the gap between
And now
her and Mikulášik.
this is crucial for Silva. Releases it wide, but the branch
Okay, she struggled through.
Yeah, the branch helped her a bit and pushed the disc towards the basket. 4 meters left. So not a big harm done off of that tree.
No, that got lucky. Looked a lot worse.
Toki's man is tucked in the bush. On hole 17, but gets around the tree for her second. Not quite pin high yet. And Saarinen for the birdie on 15.
Oh no. Did not commit to that one. Hits the cage. And she'll have to take the par while her cart mates are, I can say this at this point already, they're taking the birdie. And Silva is giving up strokes.
A clear miscalculation from Silva Saarinen once again. Kristin Latt showed us the birdie. There's Jurčíková taking the birdie, as will do Rachel Turton, most likely in the bullseye. Yep. And Silva has to take the par. The alone par for off the first feature card. The struggle keeps on going, but Jurčíková has picked up her game just a bit. This was a great drive, low and piercing, starts to sweep, gets a big skip, almost flashing the chains. We're gonna keep a small break here on Disc Golf Network. We'll be right back.
they're back, and better than ever. The 2025 Discraft Tour Series lineup has arrived featuring the fan favorite Z-Swirl plastic. Swirly, grippy, and built for flight. Z-Swirl was a standout in 2020, and now it's here again for another legendary season. Support your favorite Discraft pros and bag a piece of disc golf history. These limited edition discs won't last long, so grab yours before they're gone. Available now at discraft.com.
Great news! UPlay and the PDGA share a mission to provide education and support for healthier lifestyles through the sport of disc golf. By joining the PDGA, your membership dollars are directly at work for these amazing programs, introducing and producing disc golf players all over the world. Support our programs by joining the PDGA or donating here.
Rachel Turton leading the Konopište Open 2025 opening round with 2 strokes over Nicole Mikuláštík, local 16-year-old, with a great round. Rachel has only 8 putts marked on her card. That means that she's been 7 times in the bullseye.
Makes scoring a lot easier, if you ask me.
As we see, Kristin Latt on hole 16, another par 5, hits the gap and hyzers to the right. Turton next on the tee.
Yeah, if you're always in the bullseye, scoring is so much easier. And you heard it here first, folks.
Go and try that yourself. And Rachel
throws it into the stands.
Jurčíková. Marvelous Anheuser throw. Turning over just the correct way.
Yet another par 5.
Saarinen. Now this is something that we've used to see from Silva.
Yeah, beautiful glide. You really have to get the disc turned over. You have to get it turned to the right quite quickly as that.
This is Kaiti Alsalu on hole 16, further down for the birdie. Gets it done. 5 birdies for Alsalu in the last 6 holes. Picking up the pace.
I think so, yeah.
Latt and Saarinen both have 57% circle 1X putting on this round. 57%, that's 4 out of 7.
Circle 1 putting.
Circle 1 putting.
I'm not impressed.
Me neither. Silva's made 0 out of the 3 circle 2 putts, while Kristin made 1 out of her 5 circle 2 putts.
Oh, shank job.
Turton hits an early tree. Look at this again. Low and left release.
Yeah, that was clearly off the mark. I don't even know from which side she was aiming from.
Rachel is used to throw with the run-up, and now she wasn't able to get one. That might be one of the problems with that shot, while Jurčíková shows us the solid fairway hit on her second. Saarinen having some second thoughts. Decided to go for it. Drifting to the right and hyzering back.
Well executed shot.
Lat.
That got a bit lucky because it looked worse than the result actually was kicked out of the bushes or kicked out of the trees.
Rachel's
for her third.
Yeah.
Didn't advance a bit with the second shot. This is not good either.
Maybe some nerves showing up for Rachel.
Or maybe just general tiredness or something, I don't know. It's a long round. Lots of hiking, hills up and down, and a lot of par fours. You really have to throw hard quite a many times.
And people, it is crunch time! So these last holes are brought to you commercial free by our friends at 1010 Discs. Thank you for them. And now you can enjoy commercial free disc golf. We got 2.5 holes left, so this hole 16 to the end, and a very demanding 17 uphill par 4, and the downhill signature hole 18, with the crowd waiting for you behind the basket. And this is Kaiti Alsalu, her tee shot on 17. A firm shot into the middle.
We got Gummy Bear on the course. Can you talk about the course in general? How exhausting is it compared to other courses you've played or walked, Andy?
Yes, it's very long, and in the beginning, lots of uphills. Average about an 8-kilometer walk per round. So you definitely get a hike in, as you said, but the property is splendid. It's so beautiful to walk on these castle grounds and these clean fairways. So you're enjoying it all the time, but it definitely takes a little toll on the body over time. You know, you need to have snacks and you need to have your water, and you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it the next day.
8 kilometers, I guess that's more than your daily 10,000 steps.
Yeah, and at least for Andy, for he's walking the double duty.
Oh yeah. Good luck, Andy, for the second round. As you said, you'll probably feel it tomorrow and the day after next.
Yeah, the dream route for these fairways for FPO is 2,897 meters, and for the MPO 3,335 meters. So just about 450 meters separating the FPO from the MPO. Saarinen throwing 3. She's solidly in the 5-meter mark for the birdie.
I had a putting practice the other day. I had 5 putters with me, and I putted maybe for an hour or so, and my step counter said a little bit more than 3,000 steps for that hour. So that's also one way to get your daily steps in. just go putting.
Yeah, for sure.
And the more you miss, the more you'll have to walk.
Yeah, so even better if you miss, so you'll get more exercise.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's my excuse.
Oh. I'm gonna try that next time I'm going disc golfing.
I don't even have to try anymore. I'm pretty good at missing.
But we hope that these players will not try that advice. They keep on aiming at the center. And Kristin seemingly not happy with her results with that upshot. She faded to the right with the forehand. She's gonna be first one putting. Seems to me that's just on circle's edge. About 11 meters. For birdie. Center, but low. Under commitment once again from Kristin Latt. Kristina Juršíková for birdie.
Is that overcommitment?
I
then?
was just about to think the same thing, but I won't say so. I'm gonna take top
Yeah.
band over lower band any day.
Yeah, maybe so.
But maybe you could say so. I'm not arguing with you. I mean,
yeah,
she's gonna take a par at the best.
Yeah, I have to settle for par.
Rachel Turton. This is for par.
She'll really want this in to keep the first place. That was a very solid on the rope. No hesitation whatsoever. Very important putt for Rachel Turton.
Now Silva. Not a problem. Gets the birdie. Thinking about that last shot she made from her second shot. Have you noticed that Silva has gotten some more distance on this early season 2025? For I've seen that. She's been throwing some big shots in the States.
Could be. Yeah, that's what people are telling me. Sure.
And I'm not saying that Silva has the biggest arm in the FPO division by far, but we've kind of grown to know her for the past few seasons about the fact that she's putting from way outside C1 and way even outside C2.
Yeah, she
But
makes for the long distance with her putting.
Yeah,
Sure,
but now she's gaining more distance in her drives, and that seems to help her. At least in the States, she's getting a lot of attention and a lot of great scores competing there. Today, picking up the pace just a little bit, so 3 birdies in the last 4 holes.
Yeah, also creeping up in the scoreboard. Silva Saarinen now tied 4th and still plenty of birdies to get. It's very fascinating to see how this round will end with those players. Rachel Turton absolutely crushing it at the moment. Has a 2-shot lead over Kaidi Alsalu.
And we are seeing a flyover from 17. It's a par for 125 meters going uphill severely, playing as of today the 7th hardest hole. One rememberable moment from this hole was Simon Lisat's throw-in in 2016 Konopište Open when he was battling with Paul Macbeth in the playoffs. Threw an Anheuser putter behind that tree and straight into the bucket.
Yeah, it's a lot longer hole than it looks like on paper because the uphill is such a severe one. And you really need to get the disc turned over. If it doesn't, it's a ticket to the OB land.
I'm eager to see if any of these players take the Kaiti Alsalu route and just drive it straight into the hill, kind of low shot with no turnover, or just a subtle turnover. That is one, so should we call it safer place, not to risk the out of bounds left.
Yeah, that's a good idea. If you really don't need to risk it, then why would you?
Kaiti Alsalu.
Oh no.
Another roll away. Does
And
it stay?
This might go a long way.
Please stay.
Okay,
That's
stay.
9 meters. Comebacker for Kaiti Alsalu. Take a look at this again.
It's devastating. It's a heartbreaking scenery here. Just wishing it to stop, but the disc has another idea.
Just a bit too high. And the angle of the disc when it came down, it matched with a perfect roller angle to the green. So that was the reason why the disc kept on going. Now back to the tee of 17. 2 holes to go for this FPO opening round at Konopište 2025. Welcome on board if you're just joining our stream here at Disc Golf Network or live from YouTube. The first feature card has had a pretty slow round as of today, but in the back 9 they really picked up the pace, as Rachel Turton has shown us, taking 8 birdies in the last 10 holes. Kristin Latt playing it safe on 17. Not a high shot at all. Slight turnover, landing in the middle of the hill. And here's your leader, Rachel Turton. She has elite level distance. Can she utilize that?
Oh, very safe.
Turned immediately.
Will have nothing to do with the OB.
Yep. I believe she might approach the basket with the hyzer from the right side of the tree. Yurshikova. Big expectations from the young 14-year-old. Reigning Czech FPO champion and Central European FPO champion. Turning 15 in September. Let's take another look for Kaiti Alsalu's comeback putt for par, and that's over the rim. The upside of the basket. Now she's putting for bogey. Not great at all for Kaiti.
Yeah, what an unfortunate turn of events for Kaiti.
She will take the bogey and drop 3 strokes behind of Rachel Turton, who's currently leading 2 strokes over Nicole Mikulášik, already in the clubhouse. And Kristin Latt sharing the 3rd place with Kaiti Alsalu, 5 down through 16 holes. And Silva Saarinen not out of the game at all, tied 5th place with 4 under par round up until 17. Anneli Togias-Mäniste, Katie Tatte and Kristi Und. And of course Julia Fors also, 16 years old player from Sweden. They are tied with Silva on the 5th place. Back to Jurčíková. 2nd shot.
Yeah, looks good. No! It had plenty of power, but the uphill ate it.
Yeah, landed about 8 meters short. Still has an uphill putt to make.
Takes a lot more power than you'd think.
Latt.
This is too high.
Choosing for the sidearm game.
Yeah, too high.
And drops down. Doesn't roll down into the middle of those tree branches, but might have a difficult putting uphill. Rachel Turton might be out of position. She was headed right towards that big spruce and Has to stretch out with the patent pending. That is one interesting name for a particular stance, I must say, patent pending.
You know the story behind it, right?
I've heard it for sure, but I believe you should tell our viewers another time how it came to be, for I'm not the best guy to do that.
Well, the version I heard is that Ken Climo and Barry Schultz have a discussion or ongoing discussion about who came up with the stance first.
I see.
So who patented it first? So it's patent pending, and it's been like that for like 30 years or so.
Yeah, something similar I was remembering, but
Yeah.
but that's good to
Yeah.
good to know. Saarinen, her second, got a nice distance off the tee, and this is how you do it. Get to pin height, because now you have an even ground putting towards the basket. And that is a clear advantage for Saarinen on this hole 17, while Kristin Latt and Rachel Turton and also Jurčíková are a bit short of the basket. So Silva might get a stroke here off of her card mates, and that would mean that Silva would tie Kaiti Alsalo and Kristin Latt on the third place, 5 under par. Now, what is the goal for Rachel on these last 2 holes? Last 1.5 holes.
Well, she doesn't need to do anything heroic. She has a 2-shot lead at this point. And maybe she just wants to settle for the score she has and wait for the next round.
Seems to be the plan. Lays that putt up. Had a branch close in front of her. And now she's got about 5 meters left for the par. And Kristin has a clear view. Severe uphill.
Yeah, and you just don't want to hit the cage. Okay. Got lucky there.
Yeah, she hits the cage and wobbles down to the ground, but it settles.
Yeah.
It doesn't roll.
Yeah.
I'm getting more bad rollaways from the cage than from the top band.
If for some reason, that's the case.
And Kristin got lucky there. Jurčíková for birdie. Beautiful stroke in the basket. Gets some redemption. 2 over par for the round.
That was on the mark.
Four single bogeys and one triple bogey for Jurčíková this round. That was her 4th birdie. While Turton takes the par, left side of change. Saarinen left. This one for birdie. Gets the job done. And she will take one stroke out of Rachel Turton and Kristin Latt. Kaiti Alsalo, tee of 18, shoots too low.
Very slow final stretch for Kaiti.
Her second. That's fine. About 8 meters left. Let's fly over the hole 18. It's a par 3, 136 meters downhill for both divisions.
Yeah, looks a bit like the first hole on this park. Lots of downhill, but no OBs really. I mean, the left side is in play, but it's not as close as on the first hole. I assume this takes pretty much the same amount of power than the first hole.
The first feature card has been playing the course for 2 hours and 53 minutes at this point. So they are still... They might be able to play this course under 3 hours. I haven't noticed any severe backups.
No, the flow has been great. I'm actually surprised, but it's great course design.
Saarinen on the tee of 18. Does this turn?
Yes, it does.
Beautiful floater. Hits the green 2 meters short of the basket, but about 9 meters left. And she's on the circle's edge, putting for birdie. Jurčíková takes the right side, needs a fade.
Needs luck. Gets the fade, but no luck.
Hits a tree and she's behind those guardians on the right. Might not have anything at all. Flat.
Very snappy release, but didn't get the turnover.
Heading to the left and behind a tree about 16 meters away. And your leader. With 2 strokes, Rachel Turton. Hyzer flip through the middle.
Also didn't get the turnover.
She will be the third one putting before Silva Saarinen. Let's take a look at this green just a moment ago with the last putts for the second feature card. Here's Kaiti Alsalu for par, about 7 meters away. Solid stroke.
Nice recovery. Looked bad after the first shot, and I was already talking about the slow final stretch, but there's only one bogey.
Matilda Ringboom for bogey.
Ooh!
High ride, but that counts.
Off the band, into the basket. What a scorecard. Lots of blues and reds.
Yeah. Sten tapping in the bogey and Lennartson also tapping in the bogey. We're back live on the lead card. The last putts of the day for Rachel Turton, Kristin Latt, Silva Saarinen and Kristina Jurčíková. I might have to correct myself there. I was talking about Julia Force in the leaderboard, and she's not 16, she's 13. And that's pretty young for a DGPT player. Being on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That is just amazing.
Lots of young talents here in Central Europe.
What a putt. Solid effort. C2's edge. Jurčíková in the center, a bit low.
Not even running it.
Yep.
Settling for par, settling for 8 down, which is a good score on this course, and that'll secure her 2-shot lead.
And I can't recall some big-time weather issues 2 years back, and Rachel now has achieved the winning score from her last tournament here.
Yeah, it makes you think.
So the level of play has risen a lot in 2 years' time, and Silva Saarinen not able to card the birdie, tickles the chains on the left. She's got about 5 meters comebacker, and I feel like everything about her gives really low energy vibes at the moment. Takes the par.
Yeah, she was certainly expecting a better result, but this is disc golf and this is life. You don't always get what you want, right? But still a solid finish, I would say, for Silva. It looked a lot worse at some point.
Yeah, I'll agree. Some tap-ins for the first feature card, and the FPO round on Friday is over.
So Rachel Turton walks away with -8. And then we have the Czech, Nikol Mikuláštik, -6. A new name for us, for sure.
A totally new name.
Yeah, Kristin Ladd at -5. Also Kaidi Alsalo -5, Silva Saarinen -5. So lots of crowd on -5. It's a very tight pack, I would say. Very tight pack. And then we have the Estonian wave at -4. Turkish Mannista, Katie Tätte, Kristi Und, and then the Swede Julia Fors. Lots of young talents here, new names, very international leaderboard also. Too bad we don't have any Americans here this year, but it's very fascinating. Fascinating to look at the leaderboard, and
yeah,
it was a fun round actually. It was a little low energy at first, but then the people we saw, they picked up the pace, and it was a good round.
A really fun round, and Silva Saarinen might not be in the lead card tomorrow. It seems like Kaidi Alsalo will take the 4th place in the card.
Yeah, it certainly looks like that. It's according to their PDGA numbers at this point. Because they had the same score, the one who has a lower PDGA number will go before the other. Yeah, exactly. It's Kaidi Alsalo will take the 4th place alongside Kristin Ladd, Nikol Mikuláštik, and Rachel Turton, and Silva Saarinen will be on the 2nd card with 3 Estonians.
Here is Rachel Turton's scorecard for the day. 10 birdies, 1 double bogey. We'll be right back to you from Disc Golf Network after this short break.
Oh, that's nice.
EDGE is a nationally recognized 501c3 charitable organization.
What we do is we empower the teachers with complete programming along with the equipment and a standardized curriculum. So you have a one-stop shop for teachers and youth educators. That's really what EDGE is. It makes everything simple for the teacher to get involved with disc golf.
If we want disc golf to be recognized, we need to introduce disc golf to the youth. And if nothing else, they've got a healthy game that they can enjoy with their families throughout the rest of their lives.
Your membership dollars have a huge impact on the growth of the game of disc golf. The PDGA uses membership dollars to provide and aid disc golf as it spreads across the globe. From tools like the PDGA app and Tournament Manager, services like the TD Helpline, and grant programs that support the growth of disc golf globally. Your active membership also brings you access to select member benefits, including free and discounted access to the Disc Golf Network. So sign up today, and we'll see you out on the course.
That was an exciting round for the FPO in Konopište Open, the Friday, May 23rd. Now FPO has 2 more rounds to play, and that's gonna be led tomorrow by Rachel Turton from Great Britain, followed by a 16-year-old local Nicole Mikuláštík who played phenomenal 600 round. She's volunteering here, she's helping to build the course up and being first on the course and last to leave. And then we have some Estonian color in the card. Jan, it's been a great day with you in the booth today. What are we taking with us for tomorrow?
Whoa, big question. Well, first of all, I love to see young talent play. We didn't see the best from the young Czech, but we did see the result of another young Czech, Nicole Mikuláštík, only 16 years of age and already -6 in a big event like this. That's something to look forward to tomorrow. Also, we didn't see any throws from her.
Well,
so something to look forward to, of course, in there.
That is true. We're going to toss it down to the court. Rachel Turton is in the clubhouse, and we're ready to hear from her round. Stick with us.
Rachel, you took a great first step towards defending your title here at the Konopište Open today, shooting an 8 down. Walk us through your round a little bit.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I started off pretty calm. The tee shot off hole 1 is always pretty nervy, I guess. It's big OB all along the left-hand side, so I just wanted to stay safe. Ended up in the circle, gave myself a look, and I feel like that's how I've kind of approached this course. Like, just give myself looks, you know, get into the circle and just give myself lots of opportunities, and that's what I did today. So I'm pretty happy with it overall.
Your only trouble came on hole 5. Took a double bogey there. What happened in that case?
Yeah, my drive is a little longer than normal. I would probably prefer to be like slightly shorter and more up the hill, and then I just turned over the upshot. But it's something that I can easily correct for tomorrow. I'm not worried about it. It was just a couple of variant shots, but pretty clean round overall apart from that hole. So yeah, I was pretty happy.
Now I've noticed you've changed your putt from years past. You used to be a straddle putter, and now you're staggering. Can you tell us a little bit about that switch?
Yeah, I guess I'm probably more confident with the stagger. You might see the straddle again through the season, just depends how I'm feeling on the day, I guess, but feeling pretty confident at the minute. And I think putting for me is just like the mental thing, and if you're happy with your putt at the minute, then just stick with it and it'll be good. So yeah.
So you shot 988 preliminary round rating. You got a 2-stroke lead going into moving day. What's the game plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, just keep on playing my own game. You know, there's so many birdies out on the course, and I just need to give myself the opportunities to get them. There was still quite a lot that I missed today, even like with an 8 under round, so I know that I can shoot better, which, yeah, it's exciting. I'll just keep on playing my own game and just see how it goes.
All right, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck for the rest of the event.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Andrew and Rachel. Great to hear from her, and I'm glad to hear the joy in her voice after the round.
Well, it's easy to be happy when you're leading, but Rachel Churton, as I recall, is always happy, no matter if she's playing bad or a little bit better. But also, I like the game plan. Give yourself looks, and then make the putts. But she wasn't risking anything. She wasn't forcing the birdies. She just played enough well the first shots, the second shots, so that there's an opportunity for the birdie, but you don't have to force it. And seems like a winning plan so far.
Seems like it. And I believe, Jani, there's only one thing left for this broadcast before we keep a short break for the MPO, and that is the OTB shot of today.
Ooh,
and there are a couple of options here. I'd like to give it to Jurčíková on hole number 1. The almost ace run, the first shot in video cards ever for her, and she almost rings the basket. Do you have some opinions?
I would like it to be that, but she also went OB. But I don't know. I don't have an opinion on this.
Well, left to be seen what all the folks in the studio room and control room are having for us. So OTB shot of the day comes right now. It is Anniken Steen on tee number 12.
Looked bad off the tee, but snuck through the leaves, and I think it just might have hit the construction there.
Yeah, just through the branches. First looked great, and then really bad, and then great again.
Yeah. Sometimes those things happen, and it's good to have yourself a OTB shot of the day in your resume.
And then again, thank you everybody who's been following with this first broadcast in Europe 2025. And here are the broadcast times for the rest of the tournament. So local time 9:30 a.m. Central European time starts the broadcast for the FPO, and 3 p.m. for the MPO. And for the States times, there are 3:30 a.m. US Eastern and 12:30 US Pacific time for the FPO. The MPO is a few hours away, so 9 a.m. for the US Eastern and 6 a.m. US Pacific. Thank you once again for joining us on Disc Golf Network, and we'll see you with the MPO.